Hello there, my name is K-Hug, you can call me Kyler, and welcome back to the Season 2 Let's Play Minecraft Survival series. Whether you're a long-time subscriber or you just stumbled in here, I want to thank you for all of your support. So hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, share with your friends, and leave some kind words in the comments down below. Now let's get right into today's video. Last time we checked off quite a few of the resources for the Hall of All, bringing us to a total of roughly 58%, which is absolutely fantastic. I went and did a recount, and that is where we currently stand. So today I want to do something a little different. We're going to go back out, we're going to go back to doing some design and building and finishing up of this mega base and the surrounding caldera. And if you do not know, the one place that needs the most amount of detail is over in the ravine that heads into the hillside, so let's head over that direction. And more specifically, that ravine, right there. This area over here we wanted to turn into a mossy dripstone cave area. This is one of the suggestions by one of you guys in the community member, the community family, so thank you for the idea. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go get a bunch of moss, drip leaves, the little purple blocks with the drippy stuff on them, the drip leaf things, and then go ahead and also get some clays and some other things to kind of bring this area to life. We'll get rid of all the torches. This will be illuminated by all of the glow berries, and it should look pretty good. But as you may have guessed, the first thing we need to do is go collect a ton of moss, clay, dripstone, glowstone, glowberries, and all of the other things you can imagine. So it's time for us to go grab some shulkers and head over to the nearest lush cave and get to gathering. Oh, and another recent update, it looks like the copper is starting to age quite well. We've got a couple different variations. It looks like, I thought we had one right there. That guy looks fully oxidized. This is the weathered or whatever, and then so on and so forth. This guy here too. So we're getting pretty close to having everything I think we're going to need. Now, here's a question I had. If I grab, like, does it go back a stage or all the way to the beginning if I cut this? Okay, it just goes back one stage, which is perfect. So we'll wait for them all to turn fully oxidized, and then I can go through and kind of back click them a few times and get them reset to what stages we need so we can create all the blocks so we can get the copper checked off in the Hall of All. But no more distractions. Let's head on over to the Lush Cave. This place is absolutely gorgeous, and we're about to take the whole thing down, take it home, and put it back together. Now, hopefully the mobs don't become too much of an issue. I can see a bunch from there in the background. We're going to try to avoid those at all costs, and I'm not really sure how we're going to clean the ceiling up. We're going to have to figure that out along the ways. I've got some scaffold, I do believe, to help us get up in that area. But without further ado, let me grab these shulker boxes and start digging out all the resources we're going to need. Okay, well, I got a couple shulker boxes full of moss blocks, and I realized that I probably don't need as many as those as I did the clay blocks. So I have almost a full thing of clay and quite a bit of moss, but we can bone meal most of this moss to make more, and I believe, yes, I've got quite a few bone blocks in here. Now, the last thing that I needed, and this may be weird, is, well, you can see right there, mud and packed mud. What I need to do is get a bunch of packed mud, and let me go show you why. So in order to transition from the dead ruins or the soul sand plateau or plains here, desert, whatever you want to call it, into our luscious cave, I think what I want to do is use more of that right there, more of the mud bricks, like the packed mud, the mud bricks, to kind of transition right here down into about this area right in here. And then after that, then we can transition into dirt, into clay, and then into all of the moss. So what I need to do, I saw you. Find that pillar, sir, is I need to go get some more hay. Now, I don't have a wheat farm. I've got everything else a guy could want but a wheat farm, and that is exactly what I need to finish this build. So We're going to work smarter, not harder, and we're going to go find some villages and borrow some wheat. Good morning, sir. I'm just going to take a few of these off your hand. Okay, don't care. All right, well, we're just going to take a few of these, and we'll be on our way. What you got going on there, pal? I promise you, the longer you stare at it, it doesn't grow any faster. It actually looks done. Panic. Panic. So I think I would officially like to start with terraforming this back and creating a nice transition from the soul sand to the mud to coarse dirt and then into some grass and then eventually into the moss. So let's go ahead and, you know what, I might go grab a little bit of stone for filler. We've got some room in our inventory here. Let's go grab a little bit of stone to kind of use as a framework for this, and then we can go ahead and get started. Okay. First block's been placed, everything's looking good. Let's go ahead and work our way from the top down, and we'll have to terraform out on the way, but let's get started with right up in here. And now we can start terraforming this down. Okay, with just a few blocks placed, this is what we've got already, and I really think that this soul sand transition into this luscious cave is gonna look pretty cool. So far, so good. We got the vibrant greens from the moss, the neutral tones from the browns of the coarse dirt and the mud, and then we've got a little extra bits to do every so often. Now I want to make sure we don't change too much of this because most of this is still going to be the stone walls, so somewhere, which I think right in there looks good. So if I just mud up to about right there, leave the rest of this as stone, we should be able to leave this transition. And then the best thing is, once we get down into the bulk of the build, we're going to be able to just bone meal the moss blocks and it's going to grow into moss, and then we'll go back and replace it with clay. Now that's going to be the hard part because that's going to have to all be independently placed, one at a time. But without further ado, I think I'm liking the way that this is going, so let's just continue this process. I'm going to leave those as well. I think those are okay. That's got to go. There's some minor fix-ups, some minor details we're going to have to get with some scaffolding, but I think this pillar's got to go. I think other than that, I think we're in a good process to go ahead and continue working our way through. Now I'm going to go ahead and start doing major stonework down here, or moss work, and then I'm going to bone meal it and hopefully bone meal across the bottom here. So let's see how that goes. I'll get back to work and I'll catch you guys here momentarily. All right, it's officially time for a little tour, and here we go. We can already see how green and vibrant this area is. And this is what we come up with. We brought some water in here, added some clay bits throughout, really narrowed up the passageway in totality by blocking off the entrance there and the one as well right down over this hill. But this is what we're left with so far. This moss has been spreading real nicely. I've gone back in and added some clay in some places, kind of shaved up this giant pillar that was here. I might reshape this one, but it's really dependent on how hard this ceiling ends up being. So that is my next step, is we're gonna figure out how we're gonna get up there, place a bunch of moss, place a bunch of glowberries, and a few of these drip leaves or these spore blossoms. So without further ado, I think it's time to move our focus from the floor to the ceiling. Okay, and that is the ceiling complete with all of the glowberries, these spore blossoms, and a bunch of moss scattered throughout. Now, the only other problem we have now is we have to wait for every single one of these little guys that I just planted. You can tell I started over here. These guys are beginning to grow already. To grow to their full length, which should extend them down pretty far, hopefully within this region here. So this will happen while I AFK or just am working around the base. And unfortunately, in the meantime, we're going to work on something a little bit different while we wait for these glowberries to grow. So while we wait for our glowberries and stuff to grow, the next thing we're going to check is how much of these blocks we can get checked off. Now, I thought I had some that were completely oxidized. Let's look over here real quick. I know we've got at least one. Oh, we got a few here. We have 4 fully oxidized copper blocks, which I'm wondering now, looks like they could be turned into cut copper. What does that mean for us when it comes to the amount of blocks we're going to need? If I go ahead and check this guy real quick, can we cut things in here? We sure can. Ooh, and there's also the oxidized copper grates from the newest update. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab one of these, one of those, and that gets us 50% of the way through the oxidized copper. And so now we can also grab a few blocks. Oh, I only need one of each of these. From each of the stages of the copper production itself. So we do know we have enough of these weathered guys, probably. I just grab a few of these. Let's grab the ones down here. I think these ones we can, yeah, let's go ahead and grab these. We can grab 4 of these guys. And let's see what happens if we try that exact same thing with the oxidized. Yeah, you can see that there's gonna be, oh my goodness, there's gonna be one of every single piece. This is going to be a really big box full of goodies. Okay, so we planted a few more copper blocks down, but let's go ahead and take these over to the Hall of All so we can get these halfway marked off. Okay, so we do have a pretty full looking copper box, but we're going to go ahead and try to fit every single one of these guys in here. We may need to expand this box. We do have a few of these already marked off, so let's just go ahead and start placing these guys in here and see how they fit. Well, the answer to the question is they're not going to fit because we have a bunch more here to go, plus the copper grates and everything else in between. So we're going to probably need a double chest for all the copper stuff. We may go ahead and line these up a little bit differently just to fit in as many as we can. I know we kind of had a system before with the ores at the beginning, the raw copper, and then the copper hooked down. So I'm going to keep it like something like this. Keep it something like this, but we do need 5 more spaces to fit the rest of the copper. That will be all of the oxidized pieces. And I guess for the time being, we may have to actually make a modification to one, oh my goodness, of these pillars. Maybe we put in an extra barrel in here. Just put the overflow in. I think that's what we're gonna do, but let's go ahead and head on back to base and see how long it takes for some of this other stuff to go ahead and oxidize. All right, well, we've waited some more time and you can see behind us that the copper just does not oxidize as fast as I thought. On top of that, the glowstone over in our lush cave we just built also has not grown very much. So I'm gonna go ahead and sit AFK a little bit longer, let both of these things oxidize and grow respect. Did that just change? It did just change. We might actually be able to finish the copper by getting the oxidized copper grates. Oh, do we have the oxidized? Hold on. We also have the no. We're waiting on also the little button guy too. Okay, well, we thought we almost got that done, but we will now only need one more, which is pretty exciting. But I think that is going to do it for us today. So I appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with me today. Since you're still here hanging out, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, share with your friends, and leave some kind words in the comments down below. As always, stay beautiful, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.